Hello and welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast that is sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, and sometimes just a surprise. I am Dallas, and earlier today I found myself down a rabbit hole of Goblin Queen cosplays, so that's how I started my day.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
I'll send you some.
I'm Cassie, and I didn't watch X-Men 97, so it took me a second when you said Goblin Queen. I was like,
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you would have a different.
What are you into these days?
That's fair.
And I'm Demi, and I woke up feeling pretty awful this morning, but hey man, consequences of your own actions. Look at that. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture related items. Come for the movie reviews, stay for the thirst. Today, we will be reviewing If, X-Men 97, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, we will.
I don't think there will be a lot of thirsting except for X-Men.
I would imagine not. I haven't seen those two movies, but from
Although
what I've
Ryan
seen,
Reynolds does look really good in If.
he's a good-looking dude. He's a good-looking dude. You know, hopefully it wouldn't be the Apes movie, because I'm not here to yuck a yum, but I don't think that would be your thing. Speaking of thirst, Gabby, she's not here. And she's not here because she is off somewhere earning the title of Goblin Queen. But it's a goblin with one B or two. You decide, audience. Let us know in the comments what you think.
I feel like you've done something like that before, but you know
He has.
what?
That was the social media name for when she was missing a few weeks ago, or a couple episodes ago.
If it works, it works.
We're doing
Like,
callbacks now.
It's beautiful. Well, we've been doing callbacks.
Yeah. It's the newest running gag.
It's a beautiful callback.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Let's get this started. I'm going to start us off with If, because I'm the only one who saw it. It's directed and written by John Krasinski, and it stars Kaylee Fleming, Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Fiona Shaw, Steve Carell, and Louis Gossett Jr. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
The IMDb synopsis is: a young girl who goes through a difficult experience begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who have been left behind as their real-life friends have grown up. Yep, that's it. It's cute. It's real sweet. It was nice and wholesome.
Cute.
Yeah, it's just a cute, like, I was watching the movie and at one point I just felt like this is the kind of movie that my parents would have taken me to as a kid.
Nice.
feels like what it's aiming for.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't get a lot of live action movies like that anymore that are really directed at families in such a way. Like, I'm trying to think of one right now. And I can't.
The one that comes to mind for some reason, I can't even remember the name of it, but the Jason Momoa movie, something about dreams.
Yeah, but that's on
Slumberland,
Netflix. Yeah, Slumberland, which I've seen.
Yeah.
I can't think of any that like go to theaters anymore that aren't animated movies.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I can't think.
And like Disney live action movies.
Right.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure they exist, but they're not popping.
It's not clicking with me right now. And
Yeah.
I have a teenage brother that I can take to those movies, and I just can't think of any right now. I took him to see this one because he loves Ryan Reynolds. It's like his favorite person.
I respect it. One of my favorite people too.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, he's great in this movie. He's a lot more subdued and restrained in this role, which I appreciate. I've
Really
talked
good.
before about how much I love Ryan Reynolds, and I love when Ryan Reynolds is being Ryan Reynolds in movies, but he's been doing it so often lately that I have wanted to see him be something else.
Yeah.
And this was nice. This was a nice change of pace because he's far more, I feel like he's far more cynical and pessimistic in a way. And that causes him to be a lot more subdued in his performance. Kaylee Fleming, who is our lead actress, young actress in the movie, she's really good. She's so sweet and cute. And gives a really good performance. One of the things that I really appreciated was that they gave her top billing for the movie. She's the first name on the credits.
That's cool.
Because usually when you watch movies like this, where the main character is like a child or like a newcomer more so,
Yeah.
the first name on the credits is like the bigger star. In this case, it would be Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
So when the credits came up, her
Yeah,
name came
makes
up, and I was like, good. She's the main character. She should be the first name up there. So John Krasinski, whoever out there did that, fantastic. But yeah, the writing's good. It's just a sweet, little wholesome little story about getting in touch with your inner child and your imaginary friends and stuff like that. Fun fact about me, I never had an imaginary friend. It was the one imaginary creative thing that I could not bring myself to do for some weird reason. I couldn't do it. I can write short stories all day long, create imaginary characters all day long, and put them in situations, but I could not pretend that I had an imaginary friend right there next to me. It was a thing that I could not do. But all the same, the movie hits. It might make some of y'all cry out here. After spending a week watching Fiona Shaw play like a secret agent person, it was real nice to see her just play a nice grandma.
What does she play a secret agent in?
Killing Eve.
Okay.
It's really interesting actually, because like my brain when I see Fiona Shaw is like, I think Harry Potter, obviously, because I grew up watching those movies. So I'm like, oh, it's Aunt Petunia. And just like in recent years, she's been in so many things that I love. Like
nice.
Harry Potter aside, she's just done things where she's played characters that I really, really adored. So I've been able to separate her from Aunt Petunia, sort of. I still like on impact, I'm like, oh, Aunt Petunia. And then I'm like, oh, no, wait, she's like really dope. Like she's really great as this really nice grandma in this movie. And I love her on Andor. She's fantastic on Andor. Killing Eve, she's great. Like I've seen her in a number of things recently and I'm like, oh yeah, why are you in so much more like you've probably always been in stuff, but like now that I'm an adult, it's like you're just in more stuff that I like am tuned into, and it's very interesting. And also all the voiceover work is really well done as well. Steve Carell plays Blue, who is kind of one of our main imaginary friends that we follow. He is in the trailer.
Isn't Blue one of the imaginary friends from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Probably, I think
like
so.
Like the main one. He's Max, an imaginary friend.
Is this related to that?
His name is Blue.
No, it's not.
No.
It's the spinoff.
Because if you'll notice, Blue in this movie is actually purple.
Oh yeah, I thought that was like, is it the purple dude? Because I remember seeing the purple dude, but yeah, kids are kids.
Yeah. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I have also grown to love, especially in these last few years, since Solo, basically, because I have never seen Fleabag. And I loved her in Indiana Jones. She's also really good in this movie as well with her voiceover role. So she's great. I feel like I enjoy almost anything that she's in. But yeah, this is just a cute little movie. Like if you want to spend like 2 hours just watching something real wholesome, the world needs it. Honestly, I feel like it's a really important message, this idea of like getting in touch with your inner child. Because I feel like a lot of people are like so pessimistic now, and I get it. The world is kind of trash a lot.
So some Milky Way ghetto out here.
Yeah, Milky Way ghetto for sure. But I feel like there's thinking of like fandom spaces, especially like I think people really got to get in touch with their inner child and remember that like what made these things interesting to you as a kid, not like the logistics or the logical analytical parts of a story. It's like that's not what was hitting you, because you could find plot holes in anything. Like it's really about like what makes you feel something. I don't know. I feel like this movie, it's real cute, real wholesome. If that's what your thing, if you feel like you need that in your life right now, go see If. It's a good time.
It's on my list of movies that I've been missing for like the past few weeks that I got to catch up on.
I still got to watch The Fall Guy. I'm behind on that. I got to watch. Me
too. You haven't seen? Oh,
still.
we gotta go see Fall Guy. I assume that you've seen it without me, like everybody else.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, I gotta go check that one out. So yeah, me and you will find time to see that. I'm making plans to go see Challengers with a friend. I got tickets to Furiosa already. I'm not going to be behind on
Wait,
Furiosa.
You're going to see Challengers with one friend? You have to go.
I was going to say, are you going to go see Challengers with two friends?
I got to go invite a second friend now?
Yeah, and all of you have to have this interesting chemistry.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I have a friend that's going to be... I don't know if I have a friend that can make that chemistry interesting. No.
That's the only way to see the movie.
Sounds like this is going to be a challenge for you.
A challenge. Let us move on to... Let's just move on to X-Men 97, because it most recently ended, and we love that show.
Oh my God, I love it so much. X-Men 97, created by Beau DeMayo, who is the producer and writer for Moon Knight and The Witcher. And it stars Ray Chase, Jennifer Hale, Allison Seeley-Smith, Cal Dodd, J.P. Carliak, Lenore Zahn, George Buza, A.J. Lacasio, Holly Chow, Isaac Robinson Smith, Matthew Watterson, and Ross Marquand. IMDb summary. We talked about it last time, I'm going to say it again. A band of mutants use their uncanny gifts to protect a world that hates and fears them. They're challenged like never before, forced to face a dangerous and unexpected new future. Also, it's the 90s. It's not part of it, but it's part of the story. You know, it's the 90s.
That's the setting. It is the 90s.
Oh my God, I love this show so much. I talked about the show, I think, for like 2 back-to-back Whatcha watchings.
Literally the last 2 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the last 2 I was in, definitely. It's so good. So back then, I think we had just gotten through episode 5. Remember it?
Yeah, that was the last
Which
time we
was
talked
like
about it.
highlight in a sense, but emotionally just one of the most painful things that's happened.
Devastating.
And yeah, now here we are. Season's over. 5 episodes later. It kept that quality going through the season. Like
Hard to
I knew it
believe,
was gonna be
but they
good.
did.
They did. I knew it was gonna be good, but like this man Beau,
This is so
nigga put his
good.
feet in it.
Oh my goodness. It's like this is not going to be off my top 10 list by the time we get to the end of the year. I can
No.
tell. I'm looking at it and I'm like, nah, this ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here. It's so high on my top 10 list.
Honestly, same. Like TV gotta go hard to knock this off the top spot.
Yeah, I've watched some really good shows this year already, but man, this one was like, nah. Just
Like,
kept ticking upwards.
yeah, this is my favorite Marvel thing from in a while. They've made so much stuff that like, finding
Yeah.
out where it actually ranks in this. But as someone who loves animation and grew up watching the X-Men show, like this is one of my favorite things they've ever done.
I don't know if we said this on mic. It might have just been in text messages. I really want the MCU X-Men movie to just be like this TV series, but modern.
Yeah.
It don't have to be in the 90s, but like
Yeah.
the storytelling, the way it does the storytelling. I need this, but live action. That's what the MCU X-Men needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like in the same way that you talk about the DCAU for you want that in live action. I'm like, no, this is what I want. I need the X-Men like this.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I've always talked about how like, man, I wish Marvel would give me something that makes me feel like the DCAU does. Like I want them to do this. And now I have that because this is everything that it needs to be. From like X-Men, you get the same kind of vibe of the 90s show, but still modernizing the style. You get dope action scenes with a bunch of characters, some who have been watered down in the movies. You get
So many
representation done in a way that like in the 90s they literally could not do. You get obviously the X-Men being quote unquote woke, which like X-Men has always needed that and it still has it because of course it does, you idiots. But like
it's also like a really good ensemble show, and I feel like the movies weren't very good at doing the ensemble. We very much got like Wolverine and Friends for the X-Men movies, and I gotta say right now, watching the X-Men animated series has made me like I used to love Wolverine, but now I'm like, bro, you a hater. Like, what are we doing out here? Relax, bro. Relax. Like,
Yeah.
like the way that my amount of respect for Wolverine lessened because of his daggone show is crazy.
I like the way they played him in this one because they fall back on like Wolverine's the star of the show. He's really not in this show. Like it's a team show. We get a lot of moments with Rogue, Storm. I think Rogue is probably my favorite character in this show because he's amazing. And Lenore's on. Lenore, if you out there, you hear, girl, she tried to make me cry so many times watching this show. I was like, she's attacking me. I am personally attacked.
I think my favorite character on the show like changes with every episode because
That
like
makes
one
sense.
episode it's like my boy Gambit, like I love Gambit. Gambit's so good. Rogue has always been my favorite X-Men ever since I was a kid. X-Men Evolution, the X-Men movies, for me Rogue was it. Rogue was always that girl for me.
Yeah.
But like this show, like I've always loved Jean Grey as well. She's so powerful and just like so super cool and just so intelligent. And then also like this show made me love Scott even more because I've always been a Cyclops fangirl a little bit, but this show definitely made me like, yeah, Scott's that dude. Y'all ain't been listening. Scott's him. Scott is him. And then I love Nightcrawler too. So yeah,
Nightcrawler has always been my boy.
Depending on what on the episode.
Honestly, yeah. As much as I love Rogue and Lenore, thinking about Nightcrawler, like what they do with Nightcrawler, what they do with Gambit, what they do with Storm, like in hindsight, I don't think it's fair to say Rogue is my favorite. She's one of them.
Because Storm is amazing.
Storm has always been amazing. And my boy Nightcrawler, like coming through with the wisdom in every scene, just dropping bars.
So good.
Like blood is blood, family is a choice. There is no love without sin. Like everything he said to Rogue. And speaking of dropping bars, Magneto. I'm gonna say this. I love Ian McKellen. Dude has very talented, put on a great performance. But this is my favorite Magneto I've ever seen. Every scene he's in, he is dropping bars.
Dominating.
And it's just like, never have I felt the phrase Magneto is right more than
He was so right.
watching this show. I have my Google Doc out every episode, ready to write down lines from Magneto. When Cooper says most nations don't allow terrorists to be their leaders, and Magneto says, but so many allow their leaders to be terrorists. Without even looking at her, I was like, get that nigga, Eric. Get her.
Man, the characters are just all written so well. And on top of the characters being written really, really well, like the social commentary is done so extremely well.
Yeah.
We have an episode, like, I mean, like not even an episode, the whole last half of the season is about genocide.
Honestly, yeah.
Which is topical
Mm-hmm.
for what's going on right now. Obviously, they could not have planned for that. This show was probably made years in advance.
Right.
Definitely written years in advance because season 2 is already written. But like, it's so well done. Like, remember that episode? Episode 5 is just like, it hits. It
too
hits
much.
because like the drama is already so good. Like the soap opera-y drama of it all up until we reach the point where the genocide actually happens. And then that hits on just like a different, like we've reached a new level of like drama and emotion and like how bad this like hurts people just living their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And Professor X says this in the next episode or the episode after that, where he's like, they were dancing and drinking and making love and they were living their lives and then snuffed out.
Yeah.
Because of hatred, because somebody felt like it. And it was just like, it hurt. Like, man, it was just so good. It was so good.
Yeah, it's all written so well. I knew it was written well before any of the action happened in that episode. It was already one of my favorite episodes. Just from the drama. Like, I'm watching a love triangle in an X-Men show. Ain't nobody fighting.
We were watching two love triangles.
Two love triangles. And I'm like, I ain't had an action scene yet, but this episode is fire. Like, and then they go off and I'm like, oh, this episode gives you everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's that SNL meme. This episode has everything.
Everything. And like the social commentary stuff, it is disappointing how you can drop these lines into any time period and they all always kind of work.
And the show even comments on that too. They talk about how like it doesn't matter the time period. It doesn't, like, the same thing repeats over and over and over again. Like, it just keeps recycling. Like, the show makes its commentary on that point, too. It's like, yeah, we're still saying the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't matter how many years have passed. We're still dealing with the same problems.
So, yeah, like, oh, God, it's so good. It's so well written. Magneto is great. Who just turns out to be the big bad? Shout out Theo James, by the way. Fantastic performance. Still did with the voice work. And
Theo James is so good. He's having such a year. He's
really good. Yeah, like he's in 2 of my favorite shows of the year already. His line about when you have no skin in the game, apathy is your answer. It's just like, man, this is a superhero cartoon.
There are so many gems, but this is what superheroes are all about. Like this is what I mean by like superhero. Like the superhero genre could be so much more than it currently is. Like when you really dive into like into the actual social commentary of what superheroes are supposed to be, you get stuff like this. And it's incredible when you do get stuff like this. And people who, man, I can't believe you have to be so blatant about it. Like we have to have like no tact and just say it straight out. And people still won't get it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. X-Men has been doing this since the 60s. And this is the best way to do it. Like they brought it to technically 1997, but also today with the way that they've handled these issues. And it's just so good. And also being showrun by a gay black man. Like and I want to say before we move off of X-Men, the way Beau is like interacting with the show from like an extra textual standpoint, I started following him on Twitter because like he's going or was going like week to week, like, hey, this week, watch this episode. He's answering fan questions. He's saying what inspired this scene or what inspired that scene. And it makes it hit so much more. And it's just like, this is what I want a showrunner to be. Like, Dude clearly cares about what he's doing, and
he knows his X-Men.
he knows his X-Men, and he knows how to make it work. Just shout out to him. Shout out to everybody else, because it's a team effort. As he's been talking about, like, yo, my name is on there, but it's really a team. I don't know everybody else's name, but shout out to all of them too.
Yeah. Whole thing is so good. It's just
so good.
This is what we talk about when the superhero genre can be elevated.
I'm almost upset with the format of this podcast because I can't talk about the show long enough. But I will tell anyone in the audience who's like, yo, I didn't really get deep into it. It will be on my list at the end of the year. There will be actors from it on my actors list at the end of the year. I will be talking about this show again. So we have more to say.
One of the things that I did really like about the show, and this is just a personal thing for me, is that it really dived into the different, I feel like there were pockets of characters that I enjoyed. So I love Rogue, and because I love Rogue, that means that I love her dynamic with Nightcrawler and Mystique. That's always been of interest to me. So, and that's a thing that plays out in the show. Oh, and obviously Gambit.
Yeah.
I love Scott and Jean, which means anything that has to do with their whole dynamic and whatever's going on with them, I'm automatically gonna love as well. It's just it's so funny that these the X-Men characters that I grew up loving, they all get their time, and it's their pocket dynamics, their little families within that, and it just makes me so happy. I was just oh, I'm being fed. My faves are just are killing it right now.
And this is what happens when you don't just focus on Wolverine for all of your movies and everything. We get to spend time with all of these people. Storm and Forge, that's a low-key story that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
Yeah, they have their own episodes going on. That scary-ass owl.
I look forward to seeing how Wolverine's love life is going to play out, seeing as that confession we got in the final episode.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, I saw that a mile away. I was waiting.
Yeah, you could kind of tell.
Yeah, you could tell. But yeah, that's X-Men 97. It's just so good, and we can't spoil everything.
No.
We try to avoid spoiling anything at all. So if you haven't seen it, just go watch it because it's so
Yeah,
good.
honestly, even if you're, I would definitely recommend it if you like X-Men and into that stuff. But even if you're not, just I usually am the way I recommend things is I think you're into this thing. So I'm
very tailor-made.
Yeah. Sometimes something is just so good in so many ways that I'm honestly, you might just like it. It's just really good. And that's this.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next season as well, just because of where they left us with the cliffhanger. And where is Mystique? People had theories on who Mystique was throughout the entire season, and maybe, but where is she? For real though, that's my girl. Where's she at?
I would like to know.
All right. Last thing on the list, which I'm not as passionate about, which is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is directed by Wes Ball. You guys might know him. He directed the Maze Runner series. It's written by Josh Friedman, and it stars Owen Teague, Freya Allen, Kevin Durand, Peter Macon, William H. Macy, Ika Darville, Travis Jeffrey, and Lydia Peckham. And the IMDb summary is, many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. Yep, that's the movie. Yeah, it's a coming of age story, but apes.
All right.
Yep.
Feel it.
Which is kind of cool. I do love me a good coming of age story. It's a very well made movie. This is the first Planet of the Apes in a while, at least of this current running series, where the apes talk throughout the entire movie. So it's
oh yeah,
this is our first time using modern technology to make the apes talk the whole time. It's done really well. The CGI is so good. The acting is also very, very good. I very much like Owen Teague as Noah. He's very, very good. You will definitely empathize with some apes if you watch this movie, which is crazy.
They're good at that. These movies are good at that.
They are. They really are. And I was trying to tell somebody that recently, and they just do not believe me. They're like, really? A whole movie about some apes? And I'm like, I promise you, these movies are so good. They have no right to be as good as they are.
So good.
This one I feel like isn't as good as Definitely not Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I can't really remember War for the Planet of the Apes, but I remember thinking that it was really good. So I don't think it might not match up to that. But it's still like really good. It still fits really well within this this modern day current version that we've got of these movies. Freya Allan. I love Freya Allan. I'm already a fan of hers from The Witcher. So it's really nice to see her outside of The Witcher in something where she has more of a role. She's in Gunpowder Milkshake, but she's not in it very much because she's playing the younger version of Karen Gillan.
Okay.
But she's really good in this. A friend of mine was like, she looks too modern to be in this movie. Like, she looks too much like she should be on her phone, which is interesting to me because I've been watching her on The Witcher for so long that I'm like, I don't get that vibe at all. I've been watching her with swords and stuff.
What is it about her that they think looks too modern?
I guess her eyebrows were too well done in this movie.
Oh my God.
Her eyebrows were too well done. I don't know. I was like, they put dirt on her. She's fine.
Right, like what you want her to do?
She's fine. She's pretty. We get it. She can't help that. But yeah, the acting is really good. I was surprised that Ika Darville is in this movie. For those who don't know, Ika Darville is probably most well known for Jessica Jones. He plays her, I can't think of his name right now, but he's the neighbor that ends up helping her solve
I want to say Malcolm, but I don't know if that's right.
I can't remember his name.
That sounds right. The black dude?
Yeah, the black dude.
I love that guy. He was great.
Yeah, he's in this movie and he plays one of the villains, and I never would have guessed that was him. He's playing this real big gorilla dude and super threatening, and I was like, I would never, ever, ever have guessed.
Nice. Shout out to Ika.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the mocap cut that they are apparently going to put on the DVD because I really want to see what that looks like. I'm so fascinated by movies that are made mostly by mocap because I don't understand how it works. That's like one of the film things that I do not understand. My brain still cannot process that is what's going on.
Important question.
Yeah.
Was Kevin Durand giving Elon Musk vibes as the villain?
You know what? I don't listen to Elon Musk talk enough to know whether or not.
I don't either. You saw the article, right?
Mm-hmm. I sent it.
When he said, yeah, I was like, you sent it. It's so funny because that guy already looks like Elon Musk. But when he was like, yeah, I just kind of channeled Elon Musk for this ape villain. I was like, I
but
get it.
He might have. He might be. I think he probably succeeded. I think he probably did it very, very well. I think the one critique that I have of this movie is that it isn't. I think it's too long.
How long is it?
It's like 2.5 hours.
And you can feel that 2.5?
I was feeling it at the beginning of the movie. I was like, all right, when are we getting to the catalyst?
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, it's one of those. It doesn't have to be 2.5 hours. There are certain movies where I'm like, yeah, 2.5 is good. Like I watched Dune and I'm like, yeah, of course it's 2.5 hours. Like you got a lot of stuff to explain. But this one I'm like, I get it. It's a coming of age story. He got to get the eagle, and then he has a ceremony that he's trying to get done. But oh no, all this stuff is happening, and oh no, he's got to save it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, apes, ape business.
I didn't need this long to set up. But yeah, that's really my only criticism. Otherwise, I think it's it's well written. It's a good movie. You'll probably enjoy yourself. It's up there with them recent Planet of the Apes movies. They haven't missed yet, in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah, I like all of those. This one's also on my list with If and The Fall Guy. But yeah, I like all those movies. They're really good.
So yeah, if you like those movies already, you'll probably like this one. Cassie, what's your 10-minute take?
What'd you watch? The minutes up.
Hello. So I watched 10 minutes of The Midnight Club.
Hey, that show you never got to.
Yeah, that show I never got to.
I've been telling you to watch for like 2 years.
Yeah, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who can say? It's interesting because, like, the first 10 minutes, you do not know what the show is because it's literally just about this one girl, like, I'm about to graduate. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Oh no, I have cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yeah, there is like a jump scare. She sees something creepy in a mirror and has like a vision for like 2 seconds, but the first 10 minutes don't expand on that. So something happened. There's some creepy old person she sees in the mirror, and then a vision of like somebody with a hood at a table with a fireplace, and then she's like, well, back to my life until she finds out she has cancer. And then it's like, well, guess I'm not going to Stanford. Guess my life is now on hold, which sucks. And yeah, it's her and her foster dad trying to figure that out. And then the 10 minutes ends with her hearing the doctor tell her dad that her cancer is now terminal. So,
Oh, you didn't even get to the place in the first 10 minutes?
nope. She's in the hospital.
Wow.
They celebrate her 18th birthday. And then the doctor's like, hey, yo, let me talk to you outside. And then the girl, listens in and it's like, ooh, I'm going to die.
Man.
That's the first 10 minutes. Like I said, it doesn't tell you anything about what the show actually is.
Yeah, like it's a substantial show. Like the episodes are like an hour. They got time. But it's so funny sometimes when you get a 10-minute take and it's like, I don't know. We're not there. We're not doing anything
Like if
yet.
I didn't know what the show was, I wouldn't know what the show was.
Yeah, just a girl's sick.
Oh, I guess I should mention she also does go to a college party with a friend, and that's where she finds out about, well, not finds out, but that's where she starts coughing, and then there's blood, and it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? And then we cut to, you have cancer.
I was going to say, that's the worst place to find out. You got, somebody called you and was like, oh, yeah, you got, yeah.
Like, oh, good to see you. While you're here, you have cancer. You better go home. Oh, man. Well, watch the rest of the show.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's feels like when you can't really be like, oh, you're gonna watch the rest of it based on that, because like if I didn't know what it was, no, I probably wouldn't. But like,
right, it's just sad.
I know what it is. So
it's also like there are a lot of shows that start with, oh no, I have cancer, and not knowing, like if you don't know what the show is, it's like, oh, is she gonna start selling weed? Is she gonna become a meth kingpin? Is she gonna go to a haunted school?
That's the thing, right? At least you had some level of like haunted or supernatural. It's something along those lines.
Yeah, the little jump scare was a nice indication. Like it's Mike Flanagan, it's gonna be some spooky wookie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not funny because of what's in the 10 minutes, but it's funny because of like what's not in it. Like you didn't get to any of the other. It's like a dozen kids in the show.
Yeah, no. Because that's the thing is like, because I knew that the whole thing was like they get together and like tell each other stories. So I was like, maybe this is a story that someone is telling, and then it's going to get weird. And I was like, okay, there was a jump scare, so maybe it is. But then it was like, no, she's probably just one of the kids, and something weird happened. And all right.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will continue to pester you to watch the show because I think you would actually really like it,
right.
Especially now that you're an out spooky girl, not a closeted spooky girl.
Yeah.
So it's like Mike Flanagan, spooky vibes, kids telling stories. It's got all your stuff.
Yeah, at some point I'll probably watch it, maybe.
Oh, God. Those are all these random horror movies.
I know.
I watched an entire series. Oh, I watched 15 Final Destination movies. I don't know. I should watch a Final Destination.
No, I watched, I think the first 4, and then I got tired of it.
Just watch the shows that you'll like.
I don't understand why I watch what I really don't. I can't tell you. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Now, this one, I was just trying to make it easy enough for you. I'm like, man, it's going to be in your continue watching. Like, you just got to turn on Netflix, and it'll direct you right to it.
Yeah, maybe this will be the thing. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I don't have a Whatcha watching. All I've been watching is X-Men for like I watched X-Men twice. So.
I mean, I gotta what you've been watching, but I can talk about it later.
Okay.
It would be on theme for today, but we can do it.
I mean, do you want to do it?
I'm not done with it yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make it real quick. I've been watching Killing Eve.
Oh yeah.
I'm like halfway through season 3. It's developed by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who was an If, and it's based on a series of books by Luke Jennings, and it stars Sandra Oh, Jodie Comer, Fiona Shaw, who was also an If, and Kim Bodnia. In the IMDb summary, I grabbed the more interesting one because the first one was boring. The more interesting one is Eve is a bored, whip-smart security services operative whose desk-bound job doesn't fulfill her fantasies of being a spy. Villanelle is a talented killer who clings to the luxuries her violent job affords her. These two fierce women, equally obsessed with each other, will go head-to-head in an epic game of cat and mouse, toppling the typical spy action thriller. Yep, I'm having a great time so far.
Nice.
It's a really good show. It is so far as great as I've heard everybody say it is, especially season 1. Season 2 is really good. Season 3 is good so far. Haven't reached season 4 yet, but I know that's when people started kind of dropping off. All right, I'm going to watch and find out. I already have a good idea of how this show is going to end because this is a show about an assassin. And Yeah, those don't typically end well.
Fair.
But yeah, so far I really love the show. Sandra Oh is really great as Eve. And we love Sandra Oh from Invincible. We have talked about how great she is on Invincible. But she's also extremely good here. Eve was driving me crazy at the end of season 2. Girl, you are obsessed with what they have been calling a psychopath and expect her to act like a neurotypical person. Please stop. Please stop. You know what you got into when you got into it.
Oh.
My girl Villanelle, she's the brand. She is the brand. I love her so much. She's so much fun. I already really liked Jodie Comer from Free Guy. I really liked her in that. And I was like, oh, I should watch more stuff that she's in. And just this show, just the amount of range that this woman has, from being threatening and psychotic to being childish. Like, she's got like a childlike nature at times, which is like very interesting. And it's makes for a very dynamic character, and very unpredictable, because you never know exactly what she might have in mind for you and your interaction. Also, she is throwing accents out of her, I don't know where she's pulling out of her pockets, speaking different languages, all sorts of stuff. She's so good on the show, and I see why she kind of just became like a rising success off of just this performance. She's extremely good, and wasted in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. That is just one more point against that movie.
In that?
She is. She's Rey's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like she's in that movie so little that we could get away with recasting her. Yeah,
100%. I was
something
just gonna
else.
say.
Something else. Because she's too good of an actress to have been wasted to do that. I refused.
Right?
That's upsetting to me now that I have seen Killing. Upsetting.
Like, honestly, I feel like they should have put her in the Acolyte.
Oh, she would. Oh my gosh. Kill. She would kill. Oh my goodness. She'd be so good. Give that woman a lightsaber and the inability to feel, and it'll be amazing. Anyway, that's Killing Eve. Killing Eve is really good if you haven't seen it. It's currently on Netflix. I'm having a great time watching it. Let's get into trailer tracking and news.
So many trailers. All right.
So much news.
We got Wicked. We got the witches. They witching. Or one witch.
We do. We officially have our
how many
first
witches are
trailer. There's a lot. They go to a school for witches.
Ah, that makes sense.
But Elphaba is like the most naturally gifted one, I believe, is the story, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is... I have a love-hate relationship with this trailer. This is a really good trailer. I think it looks magical and majestic. It is just as epic as I would dream of Wicked being. Why is the whole movie in this trailer? Like,
it's a long trailer.
I don't like that criticism of trailers, because I'm like, oh, it's only like 3 minutes of the movie. You're like overreacting. As somebody who knows that this movie is only part 1 of the entire Wicked story, and knowing where that part 1 is going to end, the whole movie is in this trailer.
Yeah.
It's like you just gave us the whole story.
Pretty wild how, even not knowing the story, I was watching like, did I just see like them do their whole like
character arc?
Roommates. Oh, I don't like you. Oh, I'm racist. Here's a sorting hat. Oh, we're friends now. I'm gonna go with you. I was like, this is the trailer.
Yeah, that to me is wild. Like, because I would think that the trailer would show like, oh man, they hate each other. Let's see how this goes. And it's like, yeah, they do. And then by the end of the trailer, they're friends. Like, we did the whole thing.
Yeah, we saw. Looks like when they become friends.
Yeah. I would have loved to have had more music in the trailer. Like, I feel like they didn't pull quite the, oh, we don't want you to know it's a musical thing, because everybody knows Wicked is a musical. You can't really hide it. But I definitely would have loved to have had more music. So far, what I'm really loving is, and what I've been loving since the sneak preview, I am so interested to see Cynthia Erivo's take on Elphaba, and I think she's going to do a really, really good job. Her vocals are already way different than what we've heard on Broadway before for this character. She's like seems to be bringing in more of an R&B vibe to the soundtrack, which I'm a fan of. Huge fan of. I love me some R&B. Let's do it. And I love me some Broadway, and Wicked is one of my favorite Broadway shows. Ariana Grande is growing on me with each peek we get at the movie. Still wish it was Dove Cameron. But Ariana Grande is growing on me. Whereas I feel like Cynthia Erivo is doing her own take on Elphaba. I feel like Ariana Grande is very much trying to just capture what Kristen Chenoweth brought to us in the role when she originated it on Broadway, which is not a bad thing either. It'll feel familiar, and she seems to be doing a really great job of it as somebody who has loved Wicked for most of her life, and has really loved this role. It seems like she's just bringing to it the things that she already loved about it. So it looks good. I'm gonna watch it. I was always gonna watch it no matter how I felt about it.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah, those are my feelings on the trailer. I only have the hate only comes from the fact that they put the entire character arc in the movie, in the trailer.
That was wild.
So crazy. So crazy.
Like, why do
it became a short film.
Yeah, I was like, why do I know so much about these characters already? Like, I don't know anything about the story, and I haven't seen the movie. I shouldn't know what they've gone through up to that extent.
The main beats.
Yeah.
Like, there's some other plot stuff around that, but they captured like everything that mattered.
They captured the important character stuff of the first act of the play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wild choice.
I'm getting worried that they might have taken something bad out of the movie, because there's a part in the trailer where Elphaba says something bad is happening in Oz, but she says it and she doesn't sing it. And I'm like, please don't take that song out. I love that song. I love that song so much. I love so many of those songs, though. That's one of those musicals where I'm like, no, don't take out a single song. I want to listen to them all.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But that is Wicked.
Speaking of magic and such, The Rings of Power, another trailer that is out.
Yeah. Am I the only one who finished that show?
Yep.
Cassie, did you finish it? Dang it. All right.
I watched the pilot and wasn't feeling it.
Okay. I really liked this show. I think this was one of the shows that was on my top 10 favorite shows of that year. It's just, I don't know. I found it to be really enjoyable. A lot of people had like a lot of criticism for it, but I was like, I'm having a good time. It's fine to me. I'm also super not well knowledgeable of the entire history of Middle Earth. So I can just watch the show and enjoy whatever story that they're giving to me, whether it's accurate to what Tolkien wrote or not. And this is one of those situations where I'm like, I liked the story they were telling. I'm looking forward to seeing the story continue on. This trailer, I don't think this trailer really gives us much of an idea. It's a teaser anyway. So they're more giving us an aesthetic and a vibe. Right. We know from last season that Sauron has revealed himself, at least to Galadriel. I'm excited to see how that plays out now that we know that the big evil is here. The season ended with the elves making their 3 rings. So I think this teaser does give us a look at perhaps the dwarves making their rings. So that'll be interesting to see how we get to that path. There's some other villain that is, not villain, but some other creature, it looks like that's coming up in the mines of Moria, I believe. So yeah, there's like some interesting stuff.
Not the Balrog?
It didn't look like the Balrog. It looked like something completely different. It looked slimy
they gotta get out of there.
And gross.
They got multiple evil creatures. They gotta leave. They gotta go.
I don't know if that was maybe like a red herring of like editing, but we gotta go. You gotta go. But the season did end with a tease at the Balrog, so I'm assuming that's also going to be a thing that'll pop up this season for sure. But yeah, I'm excited. This is it's like one of those shows where I'm like, I like the first season. I'll see what's happening in the second season. Like, the spectacle was insane, and I liked a lot of these characters. And I really like Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings movies. They're amazing, and I just like this world and this universe. So yeah, I'm down. I'm down for whatever they're bringing me in season 2. I have no qualms. But funny enough, the Rings of Power trailer came out, and then 2 hours later, HBO said, nah, come look at this House of the Dragons trailer real quick. It was like
Power Hour,
it was like Kendrick versus Drake Fantasy Edition.
Honestly, it was, like they did it like when Drake dropped Family Matters and Kendrick was like, nope, meet the Grams.
House of the Dragons. I'm actually way more excited about this season than I thought it was going to be. Especially because I have like more criticisms of House of the Dragons than I do the Rings of Power. Mostly for pacing purposes, but whatever. We're here now. Yeah, I want to thank Emma Darcy and Olivia Cooke specifically for understanding the assignment. They are promoting this show as a lesbian divorce drama, and I appreciate it because that's what this is. The trailer was, war is coming. We are going to war, baby. Dragons are about to be fighting people and eating people and burning people up, probably.
As you do when you're a dragon.
As one does. Let them dragon. Dragons are going to dragon.
Dragon going dragon.
That's what we come for. I love that even the trailer seems to be aware that this is a lesbian divorce drama. One of Allison's sons is like, Allison has love for the enemy, and as they say it, they cut from Allison to Rhaenyra, and I'm just like, y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all know what we came for. Y'all know.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly. Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook are the ones mainly doing promotion together. That cover that they did for Entertainment Weekly where they're on a chessboard, insane, crazy. I was like, who's doing this? Give them a raise. Yeah, there's a moment that sticks out to me in the trailer, which is Rhaenyra asking Daemon if he's gonna fully support her claim to be the queen or whatever, and he doesn't immediately answer, which, boy, you are her husband and her uncle. Your first answer should be yes immediately, but that means that there's gonna be strife in their relationship, I hope. And I love that for me because I don't like their relationship and I don't like him. So
I don't like it either. I don't know anything about it, but I don't like it based on what you told me.
I don't like it. Listen, that's enough. I don't need to know more than that.
Uncle Damon, these niggas tripping.
Exactly. He tripping. But yeah. House of the Dragons is gonna House of the Dragons, and I'm excited. So it's fun, I guess. It's a weird kind of fun, man. You finished this show, Cass. You finished that first season.
No, I did not.
I thought you finished the first season. We were talking about it.
I jumped off right at the end, like an episode before the end was where I gave up.
Dang.
Right before the end?
Yep. It was like, I think I had like one episode left and I was like, nope, not doing that.
Oh man, you missed a whole child getting eaten by a dragon.
Oh.
In the air.
See that? Maybe, I'm okay without
maybe you made the right choice.
That's going to be the start
like
of the war.
quite a sight, though.
It's crazy.
I mean, good for them, I guess.
Yeah. So the season looks good. It's probably our last trailer that we're going to get before the show starts because the show starts like in a month, like June 16th, I think they said. So, okay. Oh yeah, on Father's Day. So yeah, let's go.
Something about that. That's great.
I don't know. There are a bunch of terrible fathers on this show. So
dropping the incest show on Father's Day is pretty wild.
Oh my goodness. What's the next trailer?
No safe transition out of that. Speaking of HBO
more
stuff
politics.
that Demi likes, Dune Prophecy, aka the Sisterhood of the Traveling Sand. We got a trailer.
Fantastic. Love that.
Thank you.
Yo,
thank you.
Shout out to. It felt like an Avatar: The Last Airbender reference, even though it probably wasn't. But they did like the 4 elements thing with the word Dune, and I was like, I don't know what we're doing here, but I love it.
It is a choice.
Yeah. Bene Gesserit being Bene Gesserit, except not the Bene Gesserit technically.
No, they are the Bene Gesserit. They're becoming the Bene Gesserit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is interesting. I was not expecting our trailer tracking section to be a lot of me monologuing.
Yeah, when I saw the list, I'm like, oh, y'all got it.
Same. I was like, ooh, Demi. Hello.
I did not consider it at all. I thought that Cassie would at least join me on like Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. Nah, nothing.
It's funny because I was like, oh, I get to be Cassie today. So I ain't seen none of these.
Sorry, fam. It's just me. As you guys all know, I love Dune. I love Dune Part 1. I love Dune Part 2. I read the book. I like that. And I'm excited. Like, this is like this.
Wait, the show is written by you forgot the 84 Dune. You have to say.
No. We don't talk about that.
All right. I mean, we do. Emphatically, no, we don't. If you give us the chance. Okay.
Emphatically, if you give us the chance is actually correct. You're right. The show is being written by one of the screenwriters of the first movie, John Spates.
Oh, nice.
And he wrote the second movie as well. So, and if you watch the trailer, you can see that the aesthetic is very much the same as the movie aesthetic as well. The shields look the same, all of that. So it is definitely within that universe, this movie franchise that we have created. And I'm super excited about that. Like I said, I love Dune. It is one of my hyperfixations. And the fact that we're getting a wider universe of things that I don't know if there's ever. I don't think there are books about how the Bene Gesserit came to be. There's definitely information on how they came to be. Like I could open up. I have a Dune tabletop guidebook, and I can open that up, and there's a large section on just the history of this universe. So for sure, the history is known to a degree, but it'll be interesting to watch a whole show about it. There are several people in this cast that I am a huge fan of. I didn't realize Mark Strong was in this show, or if I did, I don't remember. Olivia Williams is in this show. Again, don't know if I knew that or if I just didn't remember, but I love her. She's fantastic. Travis Fimmel is also on this show.
I know that name. What do I know him from? Or what do I know him from something that you've seen?
Ooh, he's most well known for Vikings, but I don't think you've seen Vikings.
No, I think I've heard you talk about him.
Oh, you know what? I think I had him as a Wolverine fan cast.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
He was in Warcraft, also, that movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen him in anything.
Word.
But I have mentioned him. So I love Dune, and I'm happy to have more Dune stuff that is set in Villeneuve's universe because I like what he has created cinematically for Dune. And if I can have Dune Part 2 be on my top 10 favorite movies of the year list and the Dune Prophecy TV series be on my favorite TV shows of the year list, bet. Love it for me. So looking forward to that this fall.
We love that for you.
Last thing, which is not even connected. I can't even find a transition here.
There's no real way to transition from Dune to this. Well, Only Murders in the Building. It's back to
Only Murders in the Building.
Cassie, you watch this one?
We never made it past season 1.
Goodness gracious, Cassie.
But she loved season 1. That's the thing. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's what she does.
But she is watching other things, like rewatching shows she's already seen.
You could rewatch season 1 of Only Murders in the Building and then just keep going.
Shows that you didn't even really like that much.
Listen.
Does it even spark joy?
Well, yes, actually, because I'm rewatching Orphan Black. So, and that does spark joy. I love that show.
You're on Orphan Black now. Wait, where are you? No, I'll ask you off, Mike.
What?
I was going to ask you where you're watching that.
Oh, yeah, let us know later. I would love to watch that. Let us know later. Anyway, yeah, Only Murders in the Building, which I seem to be the only person here who is keeping track of that show. Again, this whole trailer tracking section is just a monologue. I did not realize that when I looked at the list.
This is why we need more Gabby.
Yeah,
Gabby loves murder.
And she loves Dune.
Yeah.
Would have been helpful. Anyway, as I was saying, I love this show. It's just a really fun show to watch. It's really enjoyable. It's so well written. The murder mysteries are so fun. And the trio of Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez is so unexpected and yet so good. Like, you would never expect them to have as much chemistry as they do, but it's so good, and they match each other so well. And I am looking forward to seeing what they do this season. They left season 3 off with a cliffhanger, as they do every season with like a murder. I enjoy watching their murder solving process. This one is going to have, I'm assuming the whole thing's not going to take place in LA, but some of it's going to take place in LA, which is great because they've got that moment at the end of the trailer where they're eating In-N-Out in a limo. And I'm like, nice. Yeah. And I was like, you've got to have In-N-Out when you're doing LA. Got to do it. Meryl Streep is coming back for this season, which is crazy to me. I can't even believe that Meryl Streep is on this show. And they've just got a lot of heavy hitters that are joining the cast as guest stars. They do every year. Every season has like a new series of guest stars who are like heavy hitters in Hollywood already. And it's very interesting. It's very cool. And I very much enjoy it. I'm just looking forward to seeing what hijinks we get up to this season. And I'm sure it'll be great, as the last 3 seasons have been. They've all been really good seasons, and I've had a good time. So,
nice.
Only Murders in the Building. Season 4 coming back soon. I also appreciate that this show like comes back regularly every year, like the same time, around the same time every year. It's just like, Only Murders in the Building is coming back, and it's very, very nice. I don't know. There's something comforting about that with television shows.
Well, absolutely.
Maybe because shows keep getting canceled.
Yet.
Yeah. It's like, because shows keep getting canceled and just ending, and it's just, ugh. Oh, before we move on, actually, when House of the Dragons and Rings of Power were first coming out 2 years ago, I had Willow to anticipate. So this is me, once again, using this time to say #save Willow, because I should be having another Willow season right now coming out this year too. And I hate it. Hate it out here. Counter programming. Come on.
Yeah.
Counter programming. Anyway, news stuff. Let's go through news.
Everybody and their mama is in the Fantastic Four movie now. Every time I look up,
we waited for
somebody else
so long to get casting news, and now the floodgates have opened.
They're like, oh, y'all want to know who's in the movie, huh? Boom. Here, Natasha Lyonne. Here, Ralph Ineson. Here, Paul Walter Hauser. Here, John Malkovich. It's like, I don't even know this many Fantastic Four characters.
I don't either. That's the funny part. I am very excited.
Yeah, they gave us the 4, and I was like, dope. And then they gave us Julia Garner. I was like, oh, cool. A female Silver Surfer. I know that was the thing. Dope. And then they gave us, I don't know the order anymore, but Ralph Ineson is Galactus. I'm like, cool. Galactus. Makes sense. And then they gave us like 3 more people, and I was like, who are they?
And they're all in undisclosed roles. So I'm like, who is this? I so desperately want to know who Natasha Lyonne. That's the most interesting casting choice to me out of everything that we've gotten so far for this movie. The Fantastic Four themselves are not as interesting as the fact that Natasha Lyonne is in this movie.
I do love that she's in it. I love Natasha Lyonne. She's fantastic. I have no idea who she could be playing in the MCU.
Exactly. Who?
But
Who?
I'm looking forward to it. Ralph Ineson's fantastic as Galactus. Like that voice.
Yo.
He sound like he playing it.
The bass is going to shake the room every time he speaks.
We're going to do like a 4D experience. It's just going to be whenever he talks.
But that's perfect for Galactus.
Honestly, yeah, that's what it should feel like when Galactus talks. But yeah, I'm so excited for this movie. Like, y'all know me. I love Julia Garner. Freaking Ozark, Ruth, that's my girl. And the fact that they brought her into Marvel, but also with like 8 other really dope actors at the same time. This movie's gonna be so fire.
I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm still like wondering what the story is going to be and how they're going to fold it into the wider MCU, because it looks like it's going to be like a 60s style story. Yeah,
I'm hearing a lot of theories about that and time, places, and all that stuff, and I'm like, I'm down for whatever, bro.
I mean, it is a multiverse right now.
True.
Secret Wars is just us destroying things and putting things in places that they weren't originally. That's going to be the X-Men.
Yeah, comic books. And now, wait, when's the last time we got a Fantastic Four movie? Was it the Josh Trank one?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. And since then, Brad Bird has blessed us with another Incredibles. So we've gotten another example of how to do a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh my goodness.
Now, can you
made it.
Be like, okay. Yeah, I'm hyped. I can't wait.
What other news do we have?
We got, speaking of things I'm hyped about, Donnie Yen is getting a John Wick spinoff for his character Kane. Oh my God. Every time I watch a John Wick movie, I'm like, that character would be dope in a spinoff. And then when I watched John Wick 4, I was like, that character would be dope in a spinoff. That character would be dope in a spinoff. That character would be dope in a spinoff.
I'm still waiting on Rena's character to get a spinoff. That's what I want to see.
And I lucked out because this is my favorite character. And Donnie Yen is just that
amazing
dude. So yeah, watching an action movie with Donnie Yen is always a treat. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if it's going to show his past or show when Reno was about to stab his ass in that crowded ass
maybe
place.
She stops. Maybe she's the co-lead for that.
I was gonna say, we might get her in this. Like, if it's after
4.
Yeah, after 4. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know it's gonna be dope. Watch him eat his ramen and punch people in the face. And hyped.
Use his very cool doorbell thing alerts.
Yeah.
Where people are.
It's like convenience store door being.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And we're back to things I love. Nicolas Cage is playing Spider-Man Noir in live action.
I feel like we've discussed this before. I feel like this has been in the news before, several times over.
Has it?
So I don't know why they keep telling us this. Yeah. I've known for a while. I'm like, Nicolas Cage, this isn't new.
The new news is that it's live action?
It was always live action. We always knew that.
Oh, then I
do not remember this.
Because I know that I remember hearing about there was going to be a Spider-Man Noir thing, but they just want you to know again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I caught it this time.
They're reminding us again, just in case you forgot.
Just for people like me.
Happening.
It's funny because I love animation. Cassie says animation is a superior medium. And I think in certain cases, it is. In certain cases, it's not. I feel like Spider-Verse is something that animation is perfect for it. I definitely didn't watch that and was like, I need this in live action. But Nicolas Cage is so good in that movie that I will 100% watch him just run around punching Nazis or whatever it is he talks about doing, drinking egg creams and all that. He's so good at Spider-Man Noir. And the character is so great. And I'm pretty sure, Lord and Miller is still involved. Like, it's going to be fire.
Yeah, Lord and Miller are now apparently in charge of all Sony Spider-Man TV shows.
I love that. It's going to be dope. I'm excited. Not a lot else to say about that. I'm just really excited.
Hey, yo, I just want to say real quick, because this is something we actually did not discuss on the podcast because we were on a break. We were on a break. But we didn't talk about the Superman costume reveal.
We didn't.
For the new Superman movie. I like the costume. I like the reveal. I think it's a very nice photo. And I like how much Superman looks like an everyman in that photo. Very much like your average
he's
dude
like
getting dressed for
sitting
work.
by the window. Yeah, and the things going on outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because stuff like that, more often than not, I find myself in the middle of like, you have people who are like, oh, this is really cool. Like all the reasons that you said. And then you have people who are like, I hate it. It's not Zack Snyder. Why is it this? Why are there wrinkles? Why is there a window? Why does nigga got shoes?
He's like in a feminine pose, someone said.
Oh, I
haven't
saw
heard that
one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That one's insane.
Like, men don't put on shoes? What do you mean?
It's like, what you want this nigga to jump off a building and land in his shoe?
Yes. I thought it was hilarious seeing people who were just like, he's just leisurely putting his shoes on. Okay, one, we all know that Superman moves at supersonic speed when he's getting dressed, so jot that down. Two, he got to put his shoes on. What you wanted to say the world had his shoes on?
Not to mention, like, you have no idea how fast he's moving because this is a still image.
It's a picture.
That's what I keep saying. It's a picture.
It's a picture.
It's a still shot.
It's not a GIF. It's not a video.
If it was a video of him moving slowly, I'd give you that. But like,
right, it's a picture of him putting shoes on.
Okay, so you wanted to move in super speed, so then you wouldn't even see this.
Absolutely not. There's no way you would capture this photo.
Right, it'd just be blurred. Like, people just, they work themselves up over the smallest thing. Like, yo, it's a picture of a dude putting on a shoe. You like it? Yeah. Do you like the costume?
He doesn't look like he's happy to do his job, buddy.
Oh my God.
He's getting ready for work.
You don't always smile when you put on your shoes. Like,
right. Like, what do you think?
Maybe he was smiling 2 seconds before and then he found a rock in his shoe. Like, there's 1,000 reasons he could not like.
And maybe he's not happy to go fight whatever purple blast that is outside. Maybe he just wanted to have some breakfast with Lois.
He looked dirty. Maybe he already got his ass whooped.
Oh, he definitely did. His suit is messed up.
Yeah. Like, nigga, do you always look happy going to work? No. You probably don't. Everybody just gets so worked up. Like, it's a picture of a dude putting on a shoe. If you like the costume, say that. If you don't, say that. DC is exhausting. And I don't like painting with a broad brush. But, certain fandoms and certain pockets of fandoms is just
exhausting.
Y'all gotta relax, bro. We don't need you to comment on everything that's not from Zack Snyder and try to pick apart everything you don't like about it. If you don't like the speed at which you hypothesize that he puts on his shoes, we don't care. We don't care. Like, it's a picture of a dude putting on a shoe. You can't have that much to say about it. It's unreasonable. Like, your level of opinions of this man putting on a shoe are unreasonable. If you think the costume looks whack, fine, say that. But come on, man. Y'all are...
Also, I get wanting Henry Cavill back, but like, yo, let them make their movie.
Right. And that's another thing is like, you can't, people do it all the freaking time. They do it with everything. But it's like, I like this thing. This thing is gone. So now any other version of this thing, I'm going to hate on forever. It's like, that is such a, why? Just go watch the thing you like.
It's also like a weird thing when it involves a real person who is off smashing his action figures together and having a great time.
Right.
Like, he's not thinking about it.
He's also getting ready to have a kid, so.
Y'all have a 4-hour Zack Snyder movie you can go watch. Go watch your movie. It's not your time. And people are always entitled to say their opinions or whatever, but it's just like, you don't gotta hop on everything. Just go watch your 4-hour black and white movie. You have so much.
Or go watch Man of Steel. Or Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, you have all this stuff you can go watch. Go be happy.
Go do what makes you happy. That's honestly like, that's kind of the motto of this podcast. Just go watch the things that make you happy.
Exactly. You over here taking up Twitter space, using up my data. I'm gonna watch you complain about a dude putting his shoes on. He's moving too slow. It's a picture. Although I will say, it is refreshing to see them say like, "Oh, you should smile more," and it's not about like Brie Larson. Like
oh my gosh!
Like, oh, it's about
a man,
the most white male superhero of all time, and they're telling him to smile. So like, if that's not equality, we are moving toward.
We need our heroes to be happy because we're not happy. Like, what is it? What's
I understand.
Wrong?
Like, I've always said that I would like Superman to smile more because, like, in the All Might sense of smiling more, like he's smiling so that the people he's
even saving. All Might don't smile all the time.
Oh yeah, like he's not saving somebody right now.
And stuff like exactly. Man is in an apartment by himself.
By himself?
He's alone. But no shoes.
Oh, that was amusing. That was worth bringing that up. Anyway.
Yeah, that is the news. We did it.
And all those trailers for stuff that I watch.
That were for you.
Yep.
I didn't even talk about the Megalopolis teaser.
That's true. We didn't. But that's fine. I don't have a lot to say about it.
I don't either. Yeah. I am fascinated by that movie, though.
It is an interesting, whole thing that's going on with it. But cool. We did it. We did everything. Thank you, audience, for listening to all that. If you were one of the angry people, relax. I'm not going to say sorry, but relax.
Honestly, it's at the end of the day, clown work. Like, just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Watching an alien put on rain boots to go fight another alien outside, bro. They're taking it too serious. Anyway, Crown Digital, Brandon and Io, thank you for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, actually going to see movies. I haven't done that in like a month.
Oh, it got difficult. Trust me. It's only been this week and last week.
So you. And
I haven't
thank
seen
you
the
for
Fall Guy yet.
keeping up with all these freaking shows that Cassie has given up on.
I try.
Cassie, thank you for your 10-minute take on
a show that you wanted to watch but didn't watch.
Yeah, like it was the least effective 10-minute take probably we've ever had on the show because you got nothing out of that. I mean, you got some pretty important character story for her. But yeah, watch that show. Audience, what do you think of If? What do you think of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Most importantly for me, what do you think of X-Men 97? And what do you think of the speed at which Superman is probably putting on his shoes?
Do you guys think he's taking his time, or do you think he's moving at like the speed of light like Superman usually does? Let us know in the comments.
Or do you think it doesn't matter because it's a shoe? And like that can't be the most important thing in this Superman movie, how fast he puts on the shoes. You got other stuff to worry about.
I am impressed that entire photo is in camera, though. That's very impressive.
Yeah, dope. Shout out to cameras.
Shout out to the photographer who James Gunn mentioned in his caption, but I cannot remember their name right now, so sorry.
Yeah, shout out to photographer. Yeah, anyway, hit us up in the comments about all of that and more. Whatever you want to talk about. Our comments are wide open. Or you can hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. All I'm going to be thinking about for a while is X-Men 97. So if you want to talk to me about that, or we can trauma bond or just regular bond over the show, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at King Damn Simba.
Come talk to me about something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Come talk to me about something. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SassySuitsThere.
You guys can literally talk to me about everything that we discussed on this show except the Midnight Club. And you can find me on Twitter at Demi_Joie. Joie spelled Joie. Or we can talk about how Disney should save Willow with this resurgence of fantasy shows that's going on right now. Thank you guys again for joining us. Tune in next time. We will be reviewing Furiosa. And
yeah.
I'm super excited about that. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be hyped for it the same way that I was hyped for Dune Part 2.
The Sand.
My 2 Sand movies of the year. I love it for me.
Man, you and Anakin Skywalker would not get along.
I went to the beach last week, too.
You let Anakin down.
To be fair, I also don't like sand. I just really like the beach and movies with sand.
Movies with a lot of sand.
What would Hayden say?
I don't know what Hayden would say. I know what Anakin would say.
Also, if you want to talk to Gabby, because, we can't. She don't even talk to us no more. You can find her on Twitter at Imaginary Friend with Benefits. All one word.
Amazing.
Thank you.
That one is exquisite.
Love it.
If with benefits.
If with benefits. All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
Question for y'all, because y'all know Wicked. I don't know Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some things about a tiger.
Not in the show. We can't tell you. I have not read those books, so I don't know.
I didn't reach that part in the book.
Okay. But y'all know the thing that happens?
Yes.
I've heard vague whispers. I haven't heard exactly what happens, but as a resident furry, I feel like it is my duty to figure that out.
I said, do we think Gabby is more or less excited without the tiger in the movie?
Stop it.
Now, if you know the answer to that.